there wasn't pain, it wouldn't be worth it.
Yellow. Hey guys, welcome back to the Magic. Day 34. We are live. We are in charge. We are here. Daoud, I love you. Liz, thank you so much. Hey. All right. $25. $5. Oh man, I turn 28 tomorrow. How great is that? Okay, let's get into this. Oh. I feel like my body's still adjusting to. Hey, cuz, good morning. I feel like my body's still adjusting to the new workout schedule that we've been on now, um, since full recovery and just going back to the gym. But all is well. All right. I had something happen to me a couple days ago, an opportunity, actually, one that was missed, unfortunately, due to a series of events. And it frustrated me. It certainly frustrated me because the thing that was happening was so close. It was just like, right? I mean, there's, like I said, it was a missed opportunity that, came about, and I could have, essentially, it was kind of something that was out of my control. Really a miscommunication, and I could have, I realized that I can't find the words to explain it, but essentially, I had two options. I could have been very frustrated again, or taking the high road. But as I was driving home, I was thinking to myself, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful because I thought to myself, why did this happen? What was the bigger reasoning behind it? What was the universal understanding that I had to come to, for what happened? I didn't really know why. And then it kind of bugged me, it bugged me actually for like a good couple hours until I found myself like paralyzed. I was paralyzed by, missing this opportunity. And I was just, I had to get myself together. I had to get myself back in shape. So two things that I realized during this transition that I went through. And the first thing is I had to remind myself that I come from a place of abundance. I come from a place of absolute abundance, and so do you. So does everybody out there sitting. And so at times things are going to happen to us where we feel frustrated and, but we have to ask ourselves the simple question of why did this happen? What thought did I have that created this reality for myself? How could it have been different? Why is this happening in the grander scheme of things? And my usual example or my usual explanation is if something doesn't happen, it's because it's making room for something greater to happen. And not only, not only do we have to redefine what's going on around us, but we can't allow for things to keep us down for too long. So what I noticed in my mind is I went through this mental shift, right? I was focused on this one thing, and it was frustrating me as I was unraveling it, peeling back the onions of why it was going to be such a great lesson. Little did I know, my mind was taken off of, I was like derailed off of the journey for that day, like for those 2 hours, like entirely. So I had to stop, pay attention to my thoughts and be silent and say, okay, my mind is focused on this and it's fixated on this. If I continue to fixate it on the energy around the opportunity being lost, then it's going to be a bad day. It's going to be a totally bad day. So I guess the gold nugget of knowledge that I gained or wisdom that I gained from it, was life's gonna slap you in the face. Life's gonna say, hey, it's gonna knock you down. And so the only thing that we can do is to take our attention off of the negative things that are happening to us and redirect that energy to something more positive or a different result. And it is simply that easy. And of course, I did get myself out of that thinking wave, or that thinking paralyzation, that paralyzed thinking. I got myself out of that place. And once I did, I felt a lot better. I was able to overcome it. And, essentially my day continued to move on. But, there's times when, we go through things and we allow small instances to kind of detour us from being great. And so my biggest lesson that I learned these last couple of days is, obviously you have to forget, you have to let things fall by the wayside. And then even when you're frustrated, you got to be careful, because you don't want to say things that can hurt other people's feelings and then come back and have to apologize. So, that's just kind of like what I came to. I know this already, but for it to come up in my daily, when something comes up where I don't recognize it, and I'm like, well, that's not supposed to happen. Where the hell did that thought come from? Or I didn't manifest that. Then, in my mind, my body is just like, oh, okay, hold on. And then shortly thereafter, yesterday, I met a gentleman 2 days ago. His name was Joel. Very, very interesting energy. So interesting. Like, he was just, he came out of nowhere. Like, I was at downtown and I was eating and with my lady, and we were having pho, and gentleman walks in making all this ruckus, right? So I turn over and look around, and then it's this guy just sitting there, and then he's like, hey papa, right? Like calling the waiters. And he looked at me. I looked at him like this, and then he looked at me, and then I turned back. I acknowledged him, and then I went back, to eating. And then he goes, hey papa, right? And I look over at him, and I'm like, I was like, how's it going? Good evening. And then he's just, talking, and he's talking, he was like, oh, and I joined you. Like, crazy. Like, I haven't been, like, my mental wires were like all mixed up, like, because he wasn't drunk. And I'm like a weirdo, and like I have a lot of friends who are weirdos, a lot of friends who have ADD, and they're the most awesome people in the world when they're not taking their medicine, or when they're taking their medicine. But he wasn't like, he was there, Like his presence was there, his energy was, and I like I was so inclined to just be like, hey man, what like how did you get, tell me something. Because I was open, I was like, tell me something that I don't know. Tell me something that you've learned over your lifetime. He spoke 5 languages. He was born in Africa. He grew up in Italy. And, he was just so funny. Like, he was like, when we first met, Pop, just sitting there, he got up, he stood up, he said, y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here, up in here. He starts dancing, right? And he has a little belly or whatever, and he's just sitting there dancing, just laughing. And it was crazy. Like I never met anybody like this person ever in my life. And I asked him the question. I was just like, hey, so how do you know? How did you know? He's like, I like you. He's like, he's sitting across from me. He's like, I like you guys, like you. And I was like, how did you know? And he goes, well, not how did you know, but like, how did you pick up on the energy frequency? And he like, either you have it or you don't. I was like, oh shit. I mean, shoot. Excuse me. I was like, yeah. All right. And he was a very, very interesting energy. And we sat there and we had dinner together because we welcomed him over, right? When he asked, he's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, come. Yeah, come sit. And so we laughed and we were able to enjoy community. And I think the biggest lesson or blessing out of that communication was don't get hemorrhoids, is what he said. He's like, don't have hemorrhoids. Don't live your life, because the servers in the restaurant were super like impersonal and just cold. They were just cold. Like they smile, haha, but it wasn't like they were trying to engage with you. They weren't trying to like build a relationship with you. It was just about the money, And he recognized that. And so he's just like, don't have hemorrhoids. Like, don't live your life so like laughing and community is like the light of life, essentially. Like for us to be able to laugh together, for us to be able to commune and meet together and have dinner together with people that we don't know. We all are still people at the end of the day. And so for us to entertain and to be around each other, whether we know each other or not, is not impractical. Is not normal. That is normal activity. And so it was just a gentle reminder never to lose sight, of always being a welcoming spirit, to those who for those who wander in the yard, like there's and to embrace your neighbor, and to love your neighbor and entirely, no matter their differences, and try to understand where they come from and see what you can learn from each other. And just it was a really valuable thing, and it's just, I don't know, it was just a gentle reminder, because it was like at the exact same time he showed up, at the exact moment that we had this conversation, like what are the chances that he meets somebody who is welcome, and not like turned off. He was a little bit abrasive and a little bit offensive in terms of like the way that he talked, but like looking into his eyes and looking into his soul, I could see something that was different, and the energy was just immaculate. So be on the lookout, man. Those are people that, you want to go and have lunch with, and just kind of see where their come from is, so that you can, learn from them, and maybe you can even give some insider wisdom to them that they can learn from you. So be on the lookout for that. It is now 5:51. So go ahead and finish your journaling, or we can finish our journaling, and then go ahead and work out, and we'll go from there. Other than that, I hope you guys join me tomorrow for day 35. Day 35, the journey to greatness. My videos are still getting edited, and those should be up. And I'm gonna say that every single day until they are up, because that's my reality, that's my manifestation. And I love you guys. Thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. #the journey to greatness. #the journey to greatness. Love you guys. See ya.